Hello there, my little goldies, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be an old school color and gab, which we haven't done one of those in ages and ages, and so I thought we would go ahead and do one today. Now I am recording this on, today is January 3rd of 2021. And yeah, so let's go ahead and look at the book that we're going to be coloring out of, and I'll show you the materials that we're going to be using today. So what we're going to do today is we'll color, we'll gab, and I'll just kind of tell you what's been going on around here. I touched on it a little bit in my update video when I showed my planners and journals and stuff that I was going to be using for 2021, as well as my completed journals that I did in 2020. That video was kind of all over the place. I kind of touched on some stuff then, but I'll go ahead and go into a little bit more detail as we color. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. It could be a little bit long, so grab you something to drink or a snack or something, and we're going to go ahead and get going with this. But what we're going to be coloring out of today, this is called Rose Windows, and this is a, I'm going to move this camera just a little bit, this is a coloring book from Creative Haven, and I've had this coloring book since like dinosaurs walked the earth. I've had it for quite a long time. I have colored like 3 pictures out of it. I'll actually kind of show you what I did before. Don't ask me what pencils and stuff I used with it, but it's, you know, I did use color pencils on this one. I think this one turned out really pretty. And I colored, let's see, I colored this one, which I think turned out really nice. These are mandala style, if you haven't figured that out by now. And I did color, oops, there's one more I colored. I'm not real happy with how, there it is. I'm not real happy with how this one turned out. I think I needed some more bright colors and stuff, and I did this one with alcohol markers. You can kind of see, you can kind of see that it bled through on the other side right there. These are single-sided pages, perforated. But yeah, I'm not real happy with how this one turned out, but I do like how the other two turned out. So what we're going to be coloring today, and I'm going to put my cardstock behind the picture that we're going to be doing. Let's see here, this one here. So we are going to be coloring this one here today, and we're going to be using color pencils, and I've had this set of colored pencils for ages too. This, and I got them in this like little zippered pencil case here, but we're going to be using the Amazon Basics colored pencils today. And as you can see, I mean, I've had these pencils for a while, but I haven't really used them, you guys. Like, I think I tested them out a little bit, but you know, I haven't really used them on a picture very much. It kind of looks like maybe I did a little bit, but you know, they're still pretty long. They're still pretty new, but you know, here is what they look like. And yeah, so I thought it was high time that we actually use these. And I thought, you know, I want to kind of start out the new year with just showing you guys just, you know, that you don't really need anything real expensive, and especially now with the pandemic and stuff going on, you know, people are cutting back on things that they're buying, which, you know, that includes us here too. We've had to cut back quite a bit too. And so I want to show you guys that you can actually have fun with coloring without having to break the bank to do it with. And you know, this is just a very, very inexpensive set of colored pencils. I don't remember how much they were. I think they might have been like, I know they were between like 25 and 50 bucks. I think they're more like 20, 25 bucks, something like that. I will link them in the description section if Amazon still has them, and then you can and then, you know, you can check it out, but you know, don't quote me on the price right now, but I know they were real inexpensive. They're budget-friendly pencils. And then the book, I think the book was like under 10 bucks too. So I think the book was like, well, Dover and Creative Haven are pretty inexpensive books. Like, I think this book was maybe 7 or 8 bucks. So, I mean, you can, you know, you can get a really, really nice coloring book and you know, some decent color pencils to color with, and you can make a really, really pretty picture, and you don't have to break the bank for. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the camera angled so that we can see the picture that we're going to do. I did say that we're going to do this picture. And I also wanted to tell you guys, I do have some new subscribers since last time I made a video, it looks like. So I will tell you guys that I am visually impaired. I am coloring with the visual impairment, so I have to get pretty close to the work so I can see what I'm doing. However, I've been playing with some camera angles, and now that I am actually in my sanctuary, I have a little bit more freedom to position things. And then I'm playing with like camera angles and zooming in and stuff, so I'm trying to keep my big old head out of the way. And I think the last coloring gab, it worked out pretty well. So I'm gonna do my best to try to keep my big old head out of the way, but hopefully you guys won't see that, and if you do, I'm really sorry. I'll try to be mindful of that, but I do have to get close to the work so I can see what I am doing, and we'll do our best to try to keep my head out of the way, and so that you guys can just see my hands and the picture that we're doing. And please pardon my nails. I haven't gone in to get them done since the second wave of the thing hit. As I said, we've been cutting back, and I just haven't polished them up or anything like that. So I just haven't felt like it, so we're just going to deal with what we got to deal with. But let me go ahead and get this camera positioned, and I will be right back. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start out with some purple, and we're just going to make sure that I'm in frame here. So anyway, like I said, what I wanted to just kind of talk with you guys about is, you know, just kind of what has been going on. And I'm just really trying to just make sure that I am in frame and that you guys will be able to see my hands. I'm going to be editing this video a lot because, you know, like I said, you know, because like I said, I want to try to get it, you know, really zoomed in. That way you guys can kind of see my hands in the picture instead of like what I am, you know, other than my big old head. And no, I'm not wearing my mask. I don't wear a mask when I'm filming videos, but I do when I go out. I always carry my mask in my purse, but yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about like what has been going on as of late. And yeah, I don't know the last time I actually did a color and gab. It has been a really long time. But heck, it's even been a long time. And I'm going to sharpen these pencils. Like, they kind of came out a little bit dull. But yeah, so I'm going to use this this pencil sharpener here. I don't remember what this one is called. It's a big old heavy one, and I have I'm going to grab I have a container where I have my shavings, which let me grab that. I keep a container where I have all my shavings and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to sharpen these pencils. But so the last time I actually made a video was a couple days ago when I shared my 2021 planner and journal stuff. But before that, like, it's been quite a while since I made a video. I think it was like end of October when I made a video. But since then, some things have been going on, and mainly health-wise for me. And like I said, I touched on this in my last video that I put up a couple days ago. By the way, Happy New Year to everybody. If you did not see that video, Happy New Year. I hope you guys are enjoying 2021 so far. 2020 has been just such a weird year. But yeah, hoping for better things to happen this year. So anyway, since I made a video with the exception of a couple days ago, like I said, there's been some health things going on with me. And mainly it's been having to do with my blood pressure. I've had high blood pressure, hypertension for a number of years now. And like, a lot of times, like, people don't know that they have it, you know, because they don't feel any symptoms or anything. But you know, I mean, you can have it and not realize that you have it. And we're gonna color this row right here. This is a real big this is a big row, and yeah, so we're gonna start coloring this here. But And I don't know how well these pencils are going to show up on here. We might have to do several layers, but that's okay. But yeah, what's been going on is like you can have this high blood pressure and not realize that you have it, because a lot of people don't feel any symptoms, and they don't realize that they have it until they get their blood pressure taken, and then whoops, something is wrong, you know, like, oh, I didn't know my blood pressure was that high. But also, if it goes up kind of suddenly, and if you've like if there's like sudden changes or something, like you can get symptoms, and like you can get like nasty headaches, and actually, well, I won't go into the whole thing of what high blood pressure can do to you. Basically, it increases your chances of having a heart attack or a stroke or something. But so anyway, I've had it for a number of years now, and so I have been on blood pressure meds, and I'm still on blood pressure meds, but for the last few months or so, like, we've been having a heck of a time just trying to control it, and I've had to have my blood pressure meds like adjusted probably 4 times in 2020, and we're just having a heck of a time just trying to control it, and it's been quite the struggle, let me tell you, and I was on this one med, and we think it wasn't agreeing with me, so we stopped it. But the one medication that I've been on for years, like, that's the one that that she told me to go ahead and keep taking. And then we stopped the new one. Basically, the new one was a water pill called hydrochlorothiazide, and it did really well with me for quite a while, I guess. And but basically, sometimes a doctor will prescribe that to kind of help you get rid of like some extra fluid and stuff, because that can cause like blood pressure problems. So anyway, I did really well on both that and the lisinopril, which I've been taking for a long time. We've had to adjust my dose of lisinopril, and I think I went like from 10 to 40 milligrams, and for a while it did okay. Like, for a while it controlled it, and then it started skyrocketing again. And this was in like when was it? I want to say that was in like November. So then that's when I went on the water pill, and for a while it did okay with me, but then I started feeling just really like woozy. And also it kind of my blood pressure, it kind of did the same thing. Like, it worked for a little bit, and then the blood pressure skyrocketed, but we think that it was like depleting me of other stuff, because it was making me feel like I was feeling just really like just ugh, just weak and just ugh, shaky, and I was also orthostatic, which means that when you like when you go from sitting to standing, or standing from lying down or something, your blood pressure drops, and it drops too low, and it makes you feel like you're going to pass out, and sometimes you do pass out, and I passed out. So yeah, so she told me to quit taking that for a while, but then my blood pressure really skyrocketed, and one time I got up to like 191 over 122, so I was told to go to the ER, and I'm like, no, I don't want to, but oh my gosh, like, I had such a headache, like, my head hurt so bad. Now this was like, now this started happening like in the beginning of December. I think it was on like December 3rd is when I went to the ER for the first time, and so I'm like, no, I don't want to, but oh man, I felt so bad. And And, you know, with the whole pandemic, I mean, the ER really isn't a place you want to be. And also, you have to pay like so much every time you go. And like, you don't have to pay when you go in, but you get billed and you have to pay like so much. And, you know, with the insurance that I had. So I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And you know, for those reasons. But, I felt so bad. And my husband was like, you need to go. You need to go. You need to go. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, okay. So I went, and this was December 3rd. And they didn't keep me or anything, but they, you know, they gave me some stuff to lower the blood pressure quite a bit. Plus, because I had such a headache, they, you know, they gave me a painkiller for the headache. And oh my gosh, like they gave me fentanyl, which is really good stuff, guys. Let me tell you, it's really good stuff. But yeah, so that kind of helped get rid of the headache. And then they gave me some other stuff to kind of get the blood pressure down. And we didn't get it down like real low or anything, and it was still high by the time I left the hospital. They didn't keep me. They, you know, they had me there for a couple hours, but we were able to lower it quite a bit. But, you know, even though it was still high, we were still able to lower it quite a bit. So, I went home, and I had to call the doctor the next day, and so she put me on another medication, and the medication that she put me on this time, along with the lisinopril, was, it's called metoprolol, which is a beta blocker. And, oh yeah, good old beta blockers. And beta blockers are quite interesting because what they do is they slow down your heart rate, and they slow down your metabolism and stuff. And so your heart doesn't beat with as much force as it usually does. You know, because it kind of slows everything down. And so anyway, I was on like 25 milligrams of that, and my blood pressure was still high. Like it still wasn't lowering it enough, and I was feeling pretty rotten because like it can really slow things down so much so that, again, you can feel like you're gonna pass out, because like you can how do I put it? It slows things down so much that you feel weak, you feel dizzy. And I was actually told this, like, until you get used to the medication, that's usually what happens, but you can also feel like you're going to pass out, and sometimes you can pass out, and I did pass out. Yeah, so, and also you can get, also you can get, like, when you stand up, like, where your heart, now the beta blockers are kind of supposed to sort of help with that a little bit. And now pre-beta blocker, I was, not only was my blood pressure dropping when I stood up, but I was also getting, when I would stand up, like my pulse would just accelerate. Like it would, and this was kind of going on in December too, but, when I was standing up too, my pulse would just start to accelerate, and it would jump. One time I think I went from, I think I was at like 64 when I was sitting down or laying down or something, and then I stood up, and it jumped up to like 110 or 115, something like that. And so I was getting palpitations, ooh, palpitations, and yeah, and that's kind of where you feel like your heart's racing, and you can just kind of feel it pounding. So that made me feel just really awful too. Now the beta blockers are supposed to kind of help with that as well, and I started having that stuff like I started having that stuff like in November, And so I also had to wear a Holter monitor for 24 hours. It's a monitor that records like everything that your heart is doing for a 24-hour period. And so the results of that came back, and all that was normal, you know, like I wasn't having any AFibs or anything like that, but I was still having those weird jumps in my pulse. So yeah, I was still having those weird jumps in my pulse and stuff, and now the beta blockers are supposed to kind of help with that, because it slows everything down and it's supposed to like regulate everything. I still get that, like not as, like, I guess maybe not as dramatic, but I still get that, and yeah, it still makes me feel kind of icky sometimes, and yeah. Also, because it slows things down, it's really hard to lose weight on that stuff. But right now, what my blood pressure is doing is, it's been like, here lately, it's been like 133 over like 90, 133 over like 90. This morning it was like 133 over 91, and it's been kind of in that neighborhood for a while now, which is decent. It's still kind of high, but you know, it's better than it was. It's better than it was. And then I ended up having to take a second trip to the ER, like on December. Let's see, when did I go the first time? I went December 3rd the first time, and then I had to take a second trip to the ER like December 8th. So like 5 days after the first time I had to go, because my blood pressure did it again. Yay, 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 yay. So this time we had to call an ambulance to come and get me. Yeah. So, and again, they didn't keep me. I was in the ER for like 4 hours this time, and they pretty much did the same thing. Well, the first time I was in there, they actually took a CT scan to make sure that you know, nothing was going on with my brain, because like when you have like real high blood pressure like that, it can damage your organs, you know. So they did a CT scan, they did an ECG, they wanted me to have like a urine test, you know, they did blood work, all that good stuff, and they did pretty much everything they did the first time, except they didn't do the CT scan because I'd already had one a few days before. So, but they did everything else, and oh, and then come to find out I had a freaking UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, so I had to go on antibiotics for that. So that was quite interesting. But anyway, so the second time I went in, they pretty much did the same thing. They didn't keep me, but they again gave me some stuff to get the blood pressure down. My head was hurting again, and I was having like the accelerated pulse and all that, you know. So I had to get my metoprolol adjusted. So I went from 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams along with the lisinopril. And so since then, sometimes I can't make up my mind like what I want to do. Sometimes my blood pressure is like real low, and sometimes it's real high. So we, you know, can't seem to make up my mind what I want to do, I guess. So it's been quite the experience, and so tomorrow I have to go see a cardiologist to try to find out what's going on with me. You know, because I'm still having those like pulse accelerations and stuff, and the blood pressure just won't regulate, and yeah, and so yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. It's like, oh, can't we just figure this out? But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. So, I mean, I feel better. Like, I feel better than I did. Still not up to scratch. You know, I still feel kind of just, ugh. But, you know, the beta blockers, because they slow things down so much, like, you can feel like you just don't want to do anything. Like, you kind of feel like you kind of lose your mojo, because like you just, you know, it makes you tired. It does. It makes you tired. it's better than it was, because like when you're first getting used to it, boy, and it really threw me for a loop. I'm telling you guys, like it threw me for a loop. And I was getting like really weak and you know, passed out on them a couple of times, you know, like it was just not a fun experience. I seem to be used to it a little bit more now. I mean, I don't feel quite as bad as I did before, so I seem to be getting used to it now. But I still can't lose weight while I've been on this stuff. I haven't really gained, but I haven't really lost anything either. So now I have been doing keto since like September of 2019, and I took off almost 40 pounds. I'm really, really proud of myself, but I've been kind of stagnant. Like, I've been kind of stagnant the last few months, but I will admit too, like the latter half of 2020, I haven't really been as strict with it as I should have been. I have even cheated a few times. So yeah, I've only got myself to blame for that. But since I've been on the beta blocker, I can't seem to lose anymore. So when I go in tomorrow, that's something I'm going to talk with her about, because I don't want to not be able to lose any more weight, because I still got a little bit to go. I still got a little bit to go before I reach my my goal weight. But yeah. So we shall see what's going to go on. And oh my gosh, like last night, if that wasn't enough, oh man, last night, man, I don't know what was going on with me, but my stomach, like on the left side of my lower abdomen, like it was cramping up so bad. It hurt so bad. Had such a stomach ache, and it was on the left side, and I would get these like sharp pains. I'd get these cramps, and there's like one time it totally just doubled me over, just like, oh boy did it hurt. And boy did it hurt. And yeah, so I don't know what was going on with me, guys, but yeah, it was painful city. It was very painful city. Very, very, very painful. And it seems to be better today. It was still hurting a little bit around like 5 o'clock this morning, but it hurt for a little bit, and then it just sort of went away. So I don't know what was going on, but yeah, that wasn't pleasant at all. And then I don't know, like my sleep patterns have been just so weird lately. Like I have been, and this is terrible, and I'm not a morning person, and this is terrible, but I've been waking up like around between like 4:30 and 5 in the morning, and just can't get back to sleep. I just can't get back to sleep to save my soul. And what that ends up doing is it catches up with me in the evening, and then I conk. I get so tired and I conk. And because I conk so much, you know, that doesn't help, because then I wake up early, and when I wake up early, then I end up conking early in the evening. So I don't know, my sleep patterns have been just off. I'm falling apart, you guys. I am falling apart. But yeah, so I'm hoping I can break that cycle, because that isn't fun. And yeah. Like I don't like falling asleep at like 7 o'clock in the evening or 8, you know, I don't like that at all. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And then I conk out for a while, and then I go to bed, like, you know, then I'll go to bed like around 11 or so. Like I'll conk out for a couple hours, like maybe an hour and a half or something. I'll conk out, and then I'll go to bed like around 11, and then I'm awake by like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and that isn't fun. That is not fun. I'm trying to be mindful about my head here. That just is not fun, guys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I don't know if it's the new medication that I'm on that's kind of making me do it, or I don't know. But I'm hoping I can break that cycle, because that just isn't fun. Not at all. It is not fun. I'm not sure how I feel about these pencils on this type of paper. Now this paper is, you can see that it's got shading in there for you. It's kind of got like the, it's grayscale. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's grayscale. So you can see that it's got the shading in there for you, which helps your picture turn out really nice. But I don't know how I feel about these pencils on this particular paper. It is showing up. You guys can see it is showing up. But I feel like I got to put quite a few layers on this to get it to show up and to get it to blend and so forth. But I think it's going to turn out really pretty. I seem to like colored pencils on this paper better. I did show you the one picture that I did with alcohol markers, and I should have had some brighter colors in some of it because I didn't care for how it turned out. But you guys know I'm a pencil hoe anyway, so I always gravitate toward my colored pencils anyway over markers. I mean, I will use markers, don't get me wrong, but I tend to gravitate toward my colored pencils, being the pencil hoe that I am. Now, for those of you that have just joined me, that have subscribed, it's kind of a it's kind of a standing joke that I call myself a pencil hoe because I seem to have just about every color pencil known to man. So I said in one of my videos, I said, yep, I'm a pencil hoe because I have so many pencils. So it's kind of the standing joke that, yep, I'm a pencil hoe. So yeah, I always call myself a pencil hoe. Ooh. Yeah. But yeah, these pencils here, these are the Amazon ones. Now these pencils are the actual Amazon brand, Amazon Basics, I think it's called, and I haven't really used them very much. So yeah, I thought it was high time that we did something about that and use these. And I think I'm going to go back over some of these ones that I've colored in already because I kind of feel like I've been going over it like really lightly, but I kind of feel like if I press down as I get the last layer on, it kind of helps a little bit too. It helps the color show up a little bit nicer. But yeah, guys, what do you think here? What do you guys think? And I'm gonna go over this just a little bit more. But we're just taking our own sweet time with this because this isn't a race. We don't have to get it done in any particular time period. But I really do like this coloring book. I really do. I've had this for a couple of years at least. Like I said, since dinosaurs walked the earth, I kind of feel like that's how long I've had it. But I really do like this book, and I think it's just a real relaxing book to color out of. And my goal, like I said, my goal in 2021 is to actually color through one of my coloring books to get all the pictures done. Because, like, in my books, like, I've colored maybe 1 or 2 out of a book. Some books I haven't even colored in yet. And I have so many coloring books. Like, I haven't done a coloring book collection in a couple of years either, like, since 2019. But like last year I didn't really get too many coloring books, and I got a few, I got a few last year, but I kind of feel like I didn't get enough to kind of warrant another like coloring book collection. Now if you guys do want to see an updated coloring book collection, I will do it because like I now have my books kind of organized on my shelves, which is a lot better. I mean, I had some of them on my shelves before, but, since I got my sanctuary done, I have coloring books in here. And then I've also got coloring books on my bookshelves in the living room. And then I've also got a filing cabinet where I have coloring books as well. So if you guys do want to see an updated coloring book collection, let me know, because I can do one. I can make it happen. Because they're a little bit more accessible than they were, because like when I was going through stuff, like while we were kind of getting stuff done, while I was going through stuff, and it's my watch going off, excuse me guys. But when I was going through stuff, like, I had a lot of my books just kind of put away, sort of out of reach, you know, out of sight, out of mind, I guess. I mean, I knew where they were, obviously, but they were just, some of them just weren't as easy to get to because I had them kind of put elsewhere. But now I kind of have them more accessible, so I can show them to you guys. So if you guys want an updated coloring book collection, now, you know, it would be the perfect time of year to do one. So let me know if it's something that you're interested in. And I do have quite a few videos planned that I want to do. And oh my goodness, my left hand is falling asleep. I'm holding on to this one pencil. My left hand is falling asleep. Pins and needles, guys, pins and needles. But I do have some other videos planned, and I'm gonna kind of do a little bit more on the channel besides just coloring stuff. Like I have, you know, I love my planners, and so I want to show more planner stuff, and of course journal stuff. Like I show quite a bit of journal stuff anyway. And if you guys are interested in seeing more like fountain pen videos, I can do that. I haven't added really any new pens to my collection. Like I said, we've had to kind of hold back. We've not really been buying as much stuff lately. You know, we've cut back quite a bit because, you know, we've had to save a bit of money. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see like some fountain pen stuff, just let me know. I can do that. I can kind of show you what I'm using. Like I did a video like that, I want to say back in September, when I kind of showed like what I'm using. And that included, you know, fountain pens that I had inked up. That included, I think, the current journal I was using, and so forth. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I'm thinking of also doing like a monthly favorites video. I don't think I've ever really done one of those, but I'm thinking about introducing that to the channel, you know, just doing like a favorites video. I'm going to try to get that roughness out of that line right there, which I think I got it. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing, you know, something like that, monthly favorites. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Also, some of you guys seem to enjoy the crochet and gabs, so I can do more of those, and that'll give me an excuse to try to finish up this blanket I'm working on. So yeah, let me know if that's something that you're interested in seeing. And I need to play with my spinning wheel a lot more. I've had it sitting there and I haven't really touched it in a while. So I need to dust that off and not be so rusty with that. But we can do some spinning. Try to go over that line a little bit there. Whew. I'm kind of pressing a little bit on this one pencil. I think I got like too rough of a line right there when I was trying to shade, so I'm trying to smooth that out just a little bit. Yeah. What else has been going on? What else has been going on? I was going to say something that was on the tip of my tongue, and the train kind of left the station. Yeeks. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys think of that purple? Yeah, what do you guys think of that purple there? Alright guys, I kind of got the book turned a little bit. That way we can kind of hopefully have a better angle with some of these. But yeah, I know what I was going to say now. As I said in my last video, we exchanged out our living room furniture. We got rid of the crap that we had in there before. And you guys have probably heard me talk about my ugliest sin couch. It's we had a couple of chairs to go with it too, but it's a plaid brown color couch, and it wasn't really my bag. It wasn't really my thing. But it was the type of furniture that I mean, it's old. It was old. but it was the type of furniture that, you know, that was made to last. Like it was done, you know, back when things were built to last. And so even though it was kind of getting like old and decrepit and stuff, and I'm going to sharpen these pencils just a little bit, even though it was getting kind of old and yucky, you know, like it still held up, like it was still going strong. But there was a this one guy we knew, he wanted it, like we were gonna change it out anyway, but you know, he asked us if he could have it, so we let him have it, and then he helped John move the furniture that we have now in here, because it was outside in our outbuilding. And so we got that furniture exchanged. And what we have in here now, I mean, it's old furniture. Like, it's still, you know, we exchanged old furniture for old furniture. But, you know, this was like antique furniture. It was stuff that my husband's parents had, like, in their house. But it's in better shape. And to me, I think it looks nicer, like it's nicer furniture. It's more like antique. It's more like antique-y furniture. So we gave the old stuff to this guy we knew, and then he helped John bring in this other furniture. So we have like new old furniture in the living room now, and we're really, really happy with it. We're really, really happy with it. And like I said, it's in better shape than what we had before. And we really like it. We really like it. And so we've been just trying to declutter and just kind of clean some of our stuff, you know, just get rid of stuff that we don't want anymore. You know, we've been trying to do a bit of decluttering. And last spring, I want to say like last April or May or something, you know, as much as we hated the pandemic, and as much as you know, we don't like to see people, obviously we don't like to see people suffering and of course dying or anything. We hated the pandemic, but in a way it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because with us being kind of forced to stay home, it gave us more time to actually, you know, get some stuff, much needed stuff done around here. So in the spring, we actually cleaned up our, we have like a half story upstairs. Like, our main stuff is like down here on the main floor, but we have a half story like upstairs, and it's not insulated or anything, but you know, it's been just kind of used as like storage and kind of a junk room, I guess. And so anyway, it was such a mess up there. It was such a mess, just an absolute nightmare. So we shoveled that thing out. I mean, literally, we had so much crap up there that needed to go. Oh my gosh, did it need to go? So I feel like that we like literally shoveled it. I mean, we didn't take an actual shovel, but you know, we kind of took our hands and like cleaned it up. So anyway, that gave us an excuse to get that cleaned up and going, and we got rid of so much crap up there. But it's still a bit of a mess, because like we stuff that we wanted to keep, we did move up there that was down here, so it's still a mess, but at least we know what the mess is up there, and at least we know pretty much like where to find stuff. But yeah, it still needs a little bit of work. It still needs a little bit of work, but it's better. It's so much better than it used to be. And then with doing that, we it looks better down here too, because we don't have such a mess down here anymore. Yeah. So that's what we did. So it just kind of forced us to actually get, because we've been putting it off for quite a while, like we've been putting it off for so long, but with us being like forced to stay home, you know, it was sort of like, okay, no more excuses, that needs to get done. So we did. And also with being forced to stay home, it allowed us to be able to get my sanctuary done and my husband's annex done. You guys can go on my channel and look at the progress of those 2 rooms if you are interested in that, because I showed it from pretty much start to finish. And John and I pretty much did the work all by ourselves. I mean, he pretty much, like, he did like, I'd say probably 98% of it, and I helped a little bit. Like, I helped a little bit. I helped with some of the painting of the walls, and I helped him lay down the floor tiles a little bit. I did a little bit of helping. But I mostly sat, like, on the step ladder and supervised and drank beer. I'm not going to lie about that. I did a lot of supervising and a lot of drinking beer. But yeah, it's so worth it, because we are just so proud of how both rooms came out. And obviously, I'm filming here in my sanctuary, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And it was still kind of a gradual process, with both rooms. I mean, the big stuff got done, like, right away, but there's a few things that needed to be done that got done a little bit later. Like, for example, I got my first set of shelves on the walls, and then I now have like 3 sets of shelves on my walls in here. And so on my shelves, I pretty much have like some coloring books and my planner collection and my journal collection on the shelves in here. And but that took a little bit to come about. Like, it took, I think I got the last set of shelves up here, and again, my husband put them up. So I think the last set of shelves got put up here, like, I want to say in November. Yeah, November. So, I mean, it still took a while to, to evolve, but now I kind of feel like it's complete. And then, same thing for the annex in there. Like, he had a few things that he wanted to do yet in there, and so that kind of got done, like, in November. And so what we do is, like, at nighttime in the evening, like, because he's got a nice chair to sit in and stuff, and so we just, we sit in there with our wine and we hang out. Actually, sitting in the annex is more comfortable to hang out in, than the sanctuary, because he's got like the really nice chair and stuff in there. And I mean, I have a couple of chairs too, but they're mainly like desk chairs. So when we like to relax, we like to relax in a nice comfy chair. So, we'll sit in there with our wine in the annex and hang out. And actually, sometimes the boys do allow me to go in there because it's sort of John and Alex's room, I guess. But, sometimes the boys will let me hang out in there, especially if I'm the one fetching the wine. I have to fetch the wine and then they let me in. And I'm the one that usually gives Alex his dinner. John did that a couple of times, though, like when I wasn't feeling well. He did that a couple of times. But probably I'd say about 95% of the time I'm the one that gives Alex his dinner. And then, like I said, they let me in if I go fetch the wine. But like today, John's doing his thing in the annex while I'm filming in here in the sanctuary. And I mean, we do enjoy our living room, especially now that it's looking a lot better. We do enjoy our living room. But we spend a lot of time in the annex in the evening. Now, if we're going to watch a movie or something, we'll go in the living room and do that and enjoy our new old furniture. We'll do that. Last night, was it last night? No, it wasn't last night. It was, on New Year's Day, I think it was. We were watching The Twilight Zone, and there's kind of a ritual to that. You guys might remember, and they might even still do it, I don't know, but the Sci-Fi Channel, they used to, maybe they still do, but a lot of times on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, they had, they play a marathon of the old Twilight Zone episodes. And I am such a huge fan of Twilight Zone. I love, 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 love the Twilight Zone. So every time it would come on, like, we would always turn it on and watch it. Well, since we don't have Dish or cable anymore, we don't have the Sci-Fi Channel. And but I do happen to own all of the Twilight Zone episodes, both on DVD and on Amazon Prime Video. And these are the uncut episodes without the commercials and you know, without being cut. These are uncut and commercial-free episodes. Whereas, like, on the Sci-Fi Channel, you had to deal with the commercials, and they cut, you know, quite a bit of the episode out. So you weren't able to watch commercial-free and uncut. But, you know, and then you had to, obviously, you had to watch the episodes that they picked for you to watch. But what we do, you know, now that we don't have the Sci-Fi Channel, what we do is, you know, we have the uncut and commercial-free episodes, and then I pick out the episodes that we want to see, you know. So, you know, I pick and choose the episodes for us to watch. So, we tend to do that, like, every year. Like, we'll watch quite a bit of Twilight Zone. So we did that on New Year's Day. We went into the living room and watched our Twilight Zone on New Year's Day. We enjoyed that. So yeah, and then today we just kind of, you know, we've been just kind of hanging out, you know, we've had kind of a quiet day. Me, I'm just filming, like I said. John was in there doing his reading. But I think when I get done with this video, depending on, you know, depending on when I get this done and edited and stuff, because I want to try to get it edited and uploaded either today or tomorrow. You know, later on we'll have our wine. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. Oh yeah, yeah, not sure what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. But, with my stomach hurting so bad last night, like, I didn't have any dinner. I just kind of sipped on. So I made, I think it was on, gosh, when did I do that? Sometime after Christmas. I made a big pot of beef burgundy. And so we had quite a bit of the juice left over from it. And so when my stomach was hurting, like, real bad, I sipped on a little bit of that. And then I made... we had some Stouffer's stuffed peppers that I put in the oven for John last night, so that's what we did for dinner. But I think tonight, hopefully if I'm not too lazy, hopefully tonight I'll make, like, some mac and cheese with some tuna added into it. I'll make that for John, and then me, keto style, I have some zucchinis in there, and I like to make zucchini noodles out of it, and then I have, like, a big old block of cheddar cheese, and so I'll make my mac and cheese, like, keto style with zucchini noodles. If I'm not going to get too lazy tonight, I hope not. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes, like, when I stand up a long time at the stove, like, my pulse starts to escalate. So sometimes it's just really hard to do a lot of standing up like that. One night I cooked sausage and eggs, and I was just standing there cooking, and my pulse just started jacking up, and yeah, like, ooh, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So sometimes that does happen. Even on the beta blocker, like, sometimes it happens, but yeah. Every once in a while it'll happen, like, when I'm sitting, but mainly it'll happen, like, if I'm standing up, which sucks. It really sucks. So we'll just kind of see how it goes, see how things go. Because it's really hard to function that way, like, when like when you feel weak and faint like that, you know, it's really just hard to function that way. Yeah. So that's what's been going on here. New Year's Day, you know, I mean, it's just been pretty quiet. Like we don't, you know, we really don't have anybody over. We just, you know, we pretty much just been keeping to ourselves and stuff, you know, especially with the pandemic. Like we don't want to have, want to have a bunch of people over. And so New Year's, it was just John and me and Alex, of course, but so we, you know, we watched some Twilight Zone and we just kind of did our thing like we usually do. We kind of forgot to do it on New Year's Day. So yesterday, you know, we celebrated. We have a bottle of Gentleman Jack Daniels up there in the cabinet. So John poured us both a shot, and so a day late we celebrated the New Year. And actually, what got us thinking about it was, and it was so funny. What got us thinking about it was we like to watch Anderson Cooper. He's actually the son of actor Gary Cooper, you know, from years ago. But Anderson Cooper is a news anchor. So we like to watch him quite a bit. But he was with, I think it was Andy Cohen, and there was a clip of them drinking shots like on New Year's Eve, you know, to ring in the New Year. And poor Anderson Cooper, he just couldn't take it. Like, he was coughing and just, like, his eyes were running, and he was just coughing, and he couldn't hack it. And, oh my gosh, like, John and I, you know, we were laughing so hard. You know, we were laughing so hard. Because, you know, he was, you know, he just couldn't take it. He was a weenie. And, now, I mean, listen, I'm no lightweight or anything. You know, I'm no, like, I can't drink, like, unlimited alcohol or anything, but, I mean, I'm no lightweight either. Like, I can, you know, I can handle it. Like, I can handle it. But, yeah, so, you know, we had our shot of Gentleman Jack to celebrate the New Year. A day late, but we did it. But, yeah, that clip with Anderson Cooper was so funny. Oh, gosh, we laughed so hard. And did you guys hear? Oh, man, this was so sad. And you may not, unless you're familiar with Gilligan's Island, you may not know who I'm talking about. But Dawn Wells, who was an actress, and she played Marianne on Gilligan's Island, and she died, I think it was December 30th, from complications of the virus, the thing, you know. I kind of feel like I can't say it on YouTube because I heard that YouTube is like taking down videos of people saying it. But I think she died like on December 30th of complications from it. She was 82. So that was sad. That was really sad. Now Gilligan's Island, like when it actually aired, it was on, you know, before I was born, but they had reruns of it on when I was a kid and like when I was in college and stuff. And so we would watch it, but I didn't really care for it much at first. Like it had to grow on me. Like that show had to grow on me. It took me a while to warm up to it, but it finally grew on me, and I like it now. Like I've liked it since I was in like high school and college. Like I enjoyed it a lot more then. Gosh, it's been a while since I've seen any of the episodes. It's been a while since I've seen any of the episodes, but now that Dawn Wells is gone, I think there's only one cast member left, and that is Tina Louise, who played Ginger. So I think she's the only one left now. I think all the other cast members have passed on. They are all, with the exception of her, I think they are all gone. Even Gilligan, he's gone too. Bob Denver, yeah, he's gone too. I thought he was still alive, but I think he died some years back. I looked him up. I don't remember when, but yeah, he died some years back. Very, very sad, you know. Very, very sad when the greats go. Very sad when the greats go. Let's see. going to move the book a little bit so we can see what we're coloring. Yeah, we've been going on for a while, and even though I said this video was going to be long, like I don't want to make it super long to where it's going to be impossible to watch. So I think I'm going to color one more. I'm going to color one more, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video. But yeah, I know I'm slow with this. Like, I know I'm really slow with this, but I'd rather be slow than too fast, because I want to make sure that I do this well. You know, I don't want to make it sloppy. I don't want to go fast just for the sake of going fast and then have it be sloppy. I'd rather take it slow and steady and have it look decent, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think we'll color this one and then we'll call it a day. But yeah, I'm thinking I wasn't sure how I was feeling about these pencils on here, but so far the purple, and I'll have to see about the other colors too, but so far the purple seems to be doing pretty good. So yeah. And with this being grayscale, that, you know, the shading is pretty much done for you. Yeah. But anyway, what did you guys do for your New Year's? Did you guys have anything special going on? Did you guys make it special with, you know, with everyone really not going anywhere? My goal, like I said, is to color through one of my coloring books, like color all the pages in it. We'll see how far I get. I hope I can succeed in that goal. And then as far as weight wise, I have like I have about another 25 pounds to go that I want to try to do. I've taken off like 37, 38 pounds so far, so I'm really, really proud of myself for that. But I have like, say, between 20 and 25 more pounds to go before I hit pretty close to my goal that I want to hit. And also, I need to try to get this stupid blood pressure under control. Try to get the blood pressure under control. We still have some more decluttering to do, so we're going to be working on that. But yeah, we got a lot of it done over the spring and the summer. But you know, there's still some to do. But I'm so glad that we got our rooms done, that we got the annex and the sanctuary done. I'm so tickled pink about that. And if you guys want like another room tour, let me know. I can do that. And now that I got all of my shelves up, I can do a shelf tour. Just let me know how you guys would feel about that. Yeah. Because I think the last time you guys saw a room tour was when we actually got the room done. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I got like half of the circle done here. I think I'm gonna do some more of this off camera. If you guys want to see like a part 2, I can come back and do some more with you guys, but I may just finish this up off camera, I don't know, and then come back and show you what I did. But here's what we got done so far. There's what we got done so far. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit the like button, of course. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and tell me what you guys want to see on the channel too. Do you guys want to see more planner videos? Do you want to see more journaling videos? Do you want to see fountain pen stuff? And I'm, you know, like I said, I'm going to incorporate more stuff on here. Do you want to see more coloring things? You know, just let me know. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, plus all the other stuff that I'll have going. And of course, hit the notification bell so that you guys can be notified when new content is available, and that just kind of shows that you enjoy what I do here. And that definitely helps me out quite a bit. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. You guys have a wonderful new year. May 2021 be a blessing to you, and bye-bye to 2020. Thank goodness for that. But you guys have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video. Okay, bye, my little goldies.